Hey, welcome back and thanks for joining us on Avidgolfer Magazine's latest drive time feature. This time around we look at the BMW 228i Gran Coupe. Now that Gran Coupe has different meanings in the BMW line. We'll explain how it's attributed to this as we take the walk around. 228 horsepower, it's a 4-cylinder. Get this, it's a front-wheel drive bias. BMW front-wheel drive, mind blown! But it works out quite well. This one has the X-Drive option where it's all-wheel drive, and I'm always particular to that. This is based upon the X1 and X2 sports activity vehicle versions. That's the chassis that it uses. 228 horsepower. If you want to move up to the M235, still a 4-cylinder, but now it's 301 horsepower, and you have some extra sporting trim and louder exhaust. And so if you're a true driving enthusiast, you might want to take a peek at that. It's about an $8,000 premium. So without further ado, let's look at the outside, the inside, and the drivability of the 228i Gran Coupe. I want to thank Classic BMW up in Plano. Great guys. If you're looking for this model or any BMW line, please be sure to check them out. All right, this 228i Gran Coupe, I'm going to say this is a tale of two different cars because it has some very recognizable BMW attributes on the exterior. Then you look on the side, it might be a little different, so let's take a look. Okay, so the front, unmistakable BMW. Kidney grille, got the emblem, got some nice air scoops under here. Everything here is for show, but none of the vents really work. It's all for appearance, but that's okay. You have the fog lamps right here. You have full LEDs right here, so they've really upgraded those. These are the daytime running lights. They look fab to me. Here's your cameras for the front. So that's unmistakable BMW. Now let's take a trip around the side. If you look at it from the side here, kind of has a Japanese flair to it. Doesn't really, outside of the BMW hubcap little doodahs, it looks like something maybe from Japan, which is not a bad thing. I still think it's attractive, just doesn't scream BMW. This is a really cool gray. I really like this. Looks great in the sun. It's not nice and subdued, but it's not your white, black, that type of thing. These are optional and upgraded 18-inch wheels. I think they look fab. Little black insert in here. And those are run flats, so you don't have to worry about a spare. You go towards the back. Again, still kind of looks a little Japanese, but that's okay. Then you come all the way to the back here. What's interesting about this, these are all LEDs. They have some incandescents for your turn indicators. You have dual exhaust. I think they look really attractive, nice and chromed out. Got a little black trim there. That looks pretty good as well. And as you can see on the top, it's nice and streamlined. I like it. Looks really good. Now, if you pop the trunk, which I need to do here, all right. So you look inside here. So this is where the Gran Coupe in the BMW line is a little bit confusing, because the Gran Coupe on the 2 Series means it's a 4-door, not the usual 2. When you get at the 4 Series, the Gran Coupe means it's a hatchback. This one isn't. So when you look inside here, decent amount of room. You can probably get about 5 pieces of luggage down there. You can fold down the rear seats and the middle separator, and you can probably get about 8 or 9 in there. So it's nice and versatile. I can put in golf clubs diagonally, take out the driver, and that's okay too. You also have a little storage under there if you need something extra. We want to be hidden, whatever that might be. Okay, there you go. So that's kind of the exterior. On the top, this is an optional panoramic sunroof. It's a $1,300 option. I'm big on an illumination, more lighting in the cabin, so I like that feature. You can always close it off with the sunshade. I think it's worthy. I like it. Again, your mileage may vary. These side view mirrors will fold in, and it's a smallish type car, so you don't have to worry so much about tight parking and so forth. But I think it casts a nice look. Again, two different models kind of. It's got a little German, it's got a little Japanese, and I think it works out quite well from an appearance standpoint. Okay, here you go. This is the engine, this is the power plant, twin turbo, and it's a 4-cylinder, front wheel drive bias. This is the X-Drive all-wheel drive. I'm always partial to the all-wheel drive in case you need it for inclement weather. It corners a little bit better. Front wheel drive is a little more traction than rear wheel drive, but I like to have it all. Here's a stabilizing brace here, and that's pretty much it. That's the engine for you. All right, let's check out the interior of this 228i Gran Coupe. Again, it means 4-door in the 2 Series model. So I'm about 5'10". Back seat room, pretty good. You know, it's a shortened version of like a 3 Series or a 4 Series, but I like this. It's got more than enough foot room underneath. I like. Good amount of knee space, which I like. It's nice and comfortable. Got a nice headrest back here. Not really touching the roof, even with the panoramic roof, which tends to lower just a little bit, so that's a good thing as well. Pretty good materials for an entry level. This is the Sensitech. You can upgrade this to the Dakota leather, but for most people, I think they'll find this more than suitable. The fit and finish, you can hear the clunk of the door. It's a nice solid thunk. That's what you want to have in any car, and the German cars are really good at that, especially BMW. You have 2 vents in the back, so even though it's hotter and blazes outside, I'm nice and cool back here. You have 2 USB-C ports for the kids if they want to plug in something. That's always nice. You have a separator in the middle, armrest, cup holders. You can pull this down, and now you have full access in the back. You can put down the side seats as well in the rear, and you get almost like a nice little SUV-ish type cargo expansion. Pretty cool. If I sat in the middle, which not horrible, not bad at all. Would I want to be on a long trip? No. But for short bursts, you need to take 5 people. This will do just fine. I like this is like a shiny type trim. It looks like carbon fiber, but it isn't. I think it's a nice look in the BMW line. And at night, there's ambient lighting, and these are nice blue tracers that come through here. Looks really, really cool. So there you go. That's the back seat. All right, the back seat was fine for what most people really need. Again, decent leg room and so forth. But the front seat is where BMW does its magic. It is the ultimate driving machine, has been forever. So let's take a look here. As you sit in the front, it feels good. You have nice lumbar support. I like that. You can adjust that as well, depending on your body type and what you like. The steering wheel feels very sporty. This is not the M steering wheel, but it's got a nice tactile feel to it. I like that. It's also got a heated steering wheel, so when it's cold in the winter, I'm telling you, that thing is money. The dash here, the instrumentation, is their new updated Connect dash, and it gives you a lot of information here. It gives you total miles. This right here will always have the navigation going where you're at. Has a digital speedometer. Tells you what the range is on this. It gets about 33 miles per gallon, which is pretty decent for a 4-cylinder. And you can probably get about 350 miles range, maybe even higher if it's maybe over 400 if you're just driving on the highway. Everything else feels good. The steering wheel is manually adjusted, tilt. You can bring it in, you can bring it out, bring it in, up, down, to get it just right. And then once you figure that out, you can also have memory settings on the side. You got 2 of them for you and another driver. That's always helpful. This is aluminum, so it's a nice upgrade. It just, everything looks upscale even though this is their entry-level model. Again, we were talking about this earlier, this trim here. I really like this. I like the diamond effect. It's shiny. Again, at night you have the ambient lighting. It gives it a little extra panache. The vents, very capable. I have this in auto mode right now. It is hotter than blazes outside, and right now I feel very comfortable. You can adjust it here. You can make it sync from left to right. You can adjust the fan. Here's your presets. You can make these presets really anything. You can make them radio stations across all formats, which is nice. FM, AM, and Sirius. You can also put in phone numbers. You can put in a different setting. If you look, let's say you look at your tire pressure gauges all the time, you can make that a setting as well, a preset. I like that. Volume control here. You also have volume control on your steering wheel. You can do hands-free calling, Bluetooth, very capable. You have your voice control. If you want to ask BMW to do something, they will do that. See, it says hello. What can I help you with? I like that. So it's kind of like Siri. Here's your cruise controls over here. Again, very, very simple stuff. But I just like the way it says everything is driver bias. This has just enough room, or just enough of an angle that I can easily reach this. This is all touch. I can do touch screen. I can do it through the iDrive here. I can also use this as a scratch pad. So let's say I want to call up somebody. Let's see, I'll do this. Forget that. Let's do a nav. And let's say I want to go to, where to? So let's say I want to go to anywhere. So let's say I want to go to Plano. I can type that in right on the screen. And then see, it says Plano over here. Press that down there, hit that, and it'll do the same thing as far as street numbers and all that. And
300 feet, turn right.
Yeah, thank you. And it also has it popping up not only on the instrumentation panel up there, they also have it on the head-up display. I love that. Anytime I don't have to look at the screen here, keep my eyes on the road, love that. It's very clear. The font is excellent, and that's how that works. So I use that scratch pad a lot, and it's very intuitive. So there you go. You can have a wireless charger right here. I see you have my phone in there. That's an upgrade, but I use that a lot so you don't have a bunch of wires and charging wires going along there. You got 2 cup holders. Everything here is very intuitive. There's your start button over here. You can turn off your auto stop, which is, I love that. And you also have 3 different settings here. You have sport, comfort, eco. You have an auto hold. It's another feature that I'm fond of because I can come to a stop, take my foot off the brake, and it'll hold the car where it's at on a hill, incline or decline. And then when I hit the gas, you're back going on where you're going. So it's really cool. Love that a lot. So that's pretty self-explanatory. Now, if I go into drive mode, do this, I can flip this over to sport, and I can either do this manually, I can change the gears, very short throw, but very easy, or I can do through the paddle shifters. And these feel really good. Again, nice materials for an entry level. This is all that Sensitech, but everything is soft. So for most people, I think they'll find that attractive and worthy. How about that? So there you go. You have 1 button open and closing of the doors. I can fold in the mirrors. It's always nice when you're parking. Even though this is a smallish car, I like having that so people don't run into it. You have your trunk latch right here, right on the bottom. You have your hood release down there, and you have some cup holders on both sides. You have cup holders here. Your storage down here, ample enough, decent, and it also has another USB port. So you have more than enough charging options if you want it. And see anything else? Again, the vents, excellent. The sunroof, I like that. I like the panoramic roof here. Again, I like light. You can also close it with the power, so it's a sunshade. So if you're tired of getting beaten down by the sun, or you just want something a little more subdued, you can go ahead and do that. All your controls are here. It has heated seats, not cooled seats. This is your auto function, and that's pretty much it. The visibility is pretty good for a car like this. I don't see too many blind spots. And when you go in reverse, it's a pretty good view out of there. It's nice HD, and it also tells you, based upon where my steering wheel is, if I'm going to miss an obstacle. So you don't have to guess like that. And it also has this, a backup assistant. So you can see how that started. It'll remember the last 50 feet you drove. So if I put this in reverse, it kind of does it on its own. It's going to remember the last 50 feet I drove, and I drove this thing completely around. Isn't that cool? So if you're trying to get out of a tight space, if you're in an alley or something, and you don't have to keep on looking through your rearview mirror to find out where you're at, I think that's a fun feature. I like it. Bueno. You also have your car settings here. You can have your vehicle status, tire pressure. It'll tell you where that's at. It'll give you the recommended. This one's a little low, but not bad. And that way you can figure out. When I refill the tires, I can just go by this gauge instead of guessing, and I like that. And then the other features are pretty much the same in any car. I can change the display. I can change the interior lighting, climate control. Very intuitive, very intuitive. I like it a lot. You can get your owner's manual right here. You don't have to go searching. You can just type in a keyword, and it'll bring you right up to the subject that you're looking for. But normally I keep it in the home menu. It gives me what station I'm listening to, who I am, and has an ongoing map feature along with that. So that's the interior. Again, I like it. It just feels right to me. And we're going to give this thing a spin, and I'll tell you what it's like when you drive this, because again, BMW is all about the ultimate driving experience. So let's see how the 228 that lives up to that moniker. All right, let's take this 228i for a spin. Again, front wheel drive on a BMW. Who'd have ever thought? But front wheel drive has better traction than rear wheel drive. Their xDrive, powered to all four wheels, is even the best. So I can't tell you if this is the xDrive, so I can't tell you if there's any torque steer in the front on just the basic front wheel drive. But here we go. 228 horsepower, 4-cylinder. Let's see what kind of pep it has. As I wait at the stoplight, put on the stereo. Not a bad stock stereo, but what I would do, I'd probably look at upgrading, at least listen to it. The Harman Kardon upgrade stereo, got a lot more oomph to it, about 875 bucks. I'm used to that, and I think it's worth the price, especially if you like to play your music loud. Driving position, very comfortable. I'm 5'10", $165. I can move around, I can bring in the lumbar support if I want. Just cherry, just cherry. Again, good visibility everywhere. I like the illumination from the panoramic roof. I can tilt in, out, up, down on the steering wheel, so this feels perfect to me. Side view mirror is good. Just give this thing a run. Woo. All right, this has a lot of kick to it. It's nimble. It's got some good acceleration. About 5 seconds or so. Not too shabby, Abby. Takes all the potholes well where we work in Las Colinas. Very planted. Feels very stable. And it feels like you can drive this anywhere. I mean, you can make U-turns or like on a dime. I like this. Starting off at $38,000. Me likey. Now if I put this in sport mode, I can put this in manual. You can hear that pretty good little engine note. anytime you can put a grin on my face, I'm a happy man. And the all-wheel drive, corner's nice. Wow. You know, if you're looking for a BMW entry-level model that doesn't feel too entry, this might just fit your bill. Again, this is a four-door sedan. You can look at the X1 or the X2 if you're more into the sports activity vehicle with a hatch. Wow. Doesn't that sound good? I like this a lot. Very little understeer. Takes the bumps well. Oh, what's not to like? I'll show you how quick this turning radius is. This is a pretty narrow road. I can get all the way around. Yes, I can. Lovely. It's got enough cargo space, got enough back seat room. And it won't break your wallet. What is not to love? And there you have it. If you're looking for an entry-level model in the Highline brand, especially German, you'd be wise to put this on your checklist, especially from classic BMW in Plano. Love those guys. They'll take extra good care of you. For daily driver, you'll get lots of fun out of this. Miles of smiles is what I like to say. This will deliver the smiles in abundance. Trust me, put this on your list when you're looking for a four-door sports sedan with BMW attributes. 2 thumbs up. So there you go. It's the 2020 BMW 228i Gran Coupe. Means 4 doors in the 2 Series line. Doesn't mean there's a hatchback, but it still has a nice trunk, and you get the picture, right? I want to thank Classic BMW up in Plano. Great guys up there. If you're looking for any type of BMW, be sure to check them out. Again, this base is at about $37,000, nicely appointed at $45,000. It's a good buy. It's a great entry-level car into the BMW line. Still has the driving attributes of a BMW, and I think it's worth peeking when you're looking at a car of this magnitude. As you're going across different brands, you will not be disappointed in the 228i Gran Coupe.